What's up, everybody? Cody Shirk coming to you. I'm going to talk to you about lithium, which is a metal that sounds boring, but can make you a lot of money. Unfortunately, the past 2 years, people have lost a ton of money with lithium. So I'm going to dive into that, explain what's going on, and also explain how you can get involved in this. So as many of you know, most of you know, lithium is the metal that is used in most battery-powered electronic devices today. Although lithium is not the very best option that's out there, there's other rare earth metals and new technologies coming out. It's likely to stick around for a very long time just because we know how to use it, we know how to develop it, and it's widely used and accepted around the world. And many production facilities are geared up to process lithium to create products that operate off of lithium batteries. The problem with lithium over the past couple of years is that it has plunged in price. It peaked in December of 2022, and since then we're in the middle of 2024. The price has dropped like 90% or more. It's been a complete bloodbath for investors, and it's been quite a surprise for a lot of people because many investors thought, oh, you know, the green revolution's coming, electrical vehicles, which by the way consume the most amount of lithium, electric cars. These things are coming, so lithium, of course, is going to be in high demand. But just like any resource, there is a binge, purge, boom, bust cycle. And how that works is as producers expect or forecast huge demand, they ramp up production. So if you're a lithium miner and several years ago you thought, oh my gosh, the green revolution's coming, all these battery powered things are coming, I need to mine more lithium. Well, what do? You mine more lithium. That then floods the market because there's more product on the market, which increases demand, which lowers prices. And that's exactly what has happened over the past couple of years. The opposite end of this story, which is the boom bust cycle of resource companies, is that when prices get so low for a commodity, a miner, a producer will stop producing because it's not profitable for them to produce said asset, in this case, lithium. This happens in gold mining, it happens in silver mining, it happens in uranium, it happens in bauxite, which is aluminum, tin, nickel, everything you can think of, even in like food commodities, corn, wheat, coffee, soybeans, all that stuff. So what's probably going to happen, or what's happening right now, is lithium miners, many of them are slowing production. They're cutting back on how much lithium they're pulling out of the earth. Again, that's because they're not selling it for very much, and there's huge supplies from the past couple of years of production. What that is going to cause in the coming years is eventually a huge mismatch of supply and demand. There's going to be huge demand in the future, and there's going to be less supply. Again, the boom bust cycles are always a little bit behind, and the market reacts to demand, and that reaction time is typically delayed by a year or two. So right now is a really interesting time to start thinking about investing in lithium because prices are rock bottom low. Companies are trading for ridiculously low valuations. And in fact, some companies are going bankrupt or getting acquired. Then the M&A season of resource companies, which is mergers and acquisitions stage, or season for resource companies, is typically when you know that we're either at the very peak or the very trough. And the reason why is because as companies run out of money, let's say you're a lithium miner and you're pulling lithium out of the ground, you run out of money, well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to go bankrupt, you go out of business. But a larger lithium miner that may be still alive and kicking, they're gonna go in and buy that company that's going out of business because the lithium prices are so low. That's happening right now. There are acquisitions currently happening of larger lithium companies buying smaller companies. And again, that's a sign we're in the trough of this cycle. There's probably going to be a bit longer of this pain. The opposite is when prices go really high. You know, some companies try and sell their stock, sell themselves for a much higher multiple because what they're mining is worth so much more in the top peak of a market. So right now we're in that trough, and right now is a very interesting time for patient investors to consider allocating some of their investable capital into lithium. Lithium demand right now in 2024 compared to 2030 is expected to more than triple. So whatever we're using right now is supposed to triple by 2030. Of course, again, that's driven by EVs, electrical vehicles, probably not being adopted as fast as we thought a couple years ago, but nonetheless, definitely it's a growing market. It will continue to grow. Pretty much every government in the world has committed to pushing the electrical vehicle agenda, but also little things like the phone I'm filming on right now, like the device you're probably watching right now is probably powered by a lithium battery. And unless I'm wrong, unless the whole world's wrong, it's highly likely we're only going to be using more of these devices that are powered by lithium batteries. So by 2030, it's expected that lithium consumption is going to triple. So right now, even though lithium prices are very cheap because we have a huge supply in the market, by 2030, we're going to need more. We're going to need a lot more. And if right now, as we speak in 2024, lithium companies are reducing their mining capabilities or going out of business, or they're using their stockpiles, you can see what's going to happen by 2030. What's going to happen is that all of a sudden we're going to be in a situation where the lithium is not widely available on the market, and there's going to be huge demand, which is going to drive prices up super high. Now, 2030 probably sounds like a long way away. It's 2024 right now, so that's 6 years. You're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to invest right now and wait 6 years. Yeah, that's the whole point of investing. It's patience. I did the same exact thing with uranium. I invested in uranium around 2017. It was super cheap. And now in 2024, it's very expensive. And guess what? I did great on it. The annualized return was 20, 30%. And I didn't have to do anything. I just bought once and I sat on it and I stayed patient. Well, the same thing applies to lithium. I actually think lithium is going to rebound faster than uranium did. So if you are an investor that understands the bigger picture, you do have some patience and you're not looking for a quick buck, you should place some capital into lithium right now, because by 2030, with increasing demand, it's highly likely that the price is going to significantly increase. So what's the best way to invest in lithium? Well, the best way, in my opinion, is just go with an ETF. An ETF, there's multiple lithium ETFs, I'll list them below, or you can just search them. Lithium ETFs buy a portion of other lithium companies. So essentially what you get is a basket of lithium companies in a single stock, in a single ETF. Most ETFs will charge around 0.5 percentage point up to 1%. That's the annual fee that you pay for them investing in all of these companies. And you may think, oh, there's a fee to invest in these things. And yeah, there is a fee. I have done in the past, tried to cherry pick all the best stocks that you think are going to do really well. And you may hit some jackpot here or there. You may hit some junior lithium miner that goes up 10,000%. But guess what? You're going to hit a bunch of duds too. So probably, or in my opinion, the best way to play the lithium game is don't try and overthink it. Don't try and think you're some crazy intellectual investor that's going to outsmart the market. Just go with the ETF. The ETFs are cheap right now because lithium is cheap. They spread your risk across a whole bunch of different companies, and you only have to invest once. You just buy the ETF and let it sit there and sit on it for several years. I don't know when lithium prices will go up or when they'll peak next, but I can tell you right now, at current prices, it could go lower, but not much lower. We are we're lower than the previous trough, which was prior to 2022. So the price of lithium is actually cheaper than it was before we started this whole battery and EV revolution. Again, that's because there's such a huge glut of lithium on the market right now. But again, that will disappear. So I will provide a whole list of options to invest in lithium, but if you just want the cheat code, you don't want to mess around with trying to outsmart the market and trying to click here or there and go down rabbit holes, just buy the ETF. Don't overthink it. This is the most patient way to invest probably in any industry, but especially resource industries like lithium. It took me years to figure this out, and you can go figure it out on your own if you want. You can go try and cherry pick companies, and maybe you'll do really well at it. But also, you'll probably lose a lot of money on penny stocks and silly junior miners that promise the world and don't even have a hole to dig in. So just go buy the ETF and let me know how it turns out in several years. I'll be checking back in. All right, guys, get outside, go jump in the ocean, go out in the forest, whatever it takes. Just go outside because it's super good for your brain to get exposed to nature, get some creative thinking, good for your mental health too. See ya.